Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I thought I'd do a video today on my figs for anybody who's interested in the figs. I think I've got about 15 varieties. There's slightly more than 15 pots out, but I think a couple of them are duplicates because they're cuttings that someone gave me that I rooted, and one that I did an experimental graft with. But most of them are different varieties, and the only one I'm not including here, of course, is my large in-ground one, which we think is a long do. But I thought I'd just have a quick look at how they've done over winter. There's quite a variation in sizes, and some of them obviously are fruiting size. I decided to have a move around because the figs have mostly been towards the back of that area over there, and I felt they weren't getting enough light and enough sunshine to actually fruit properly or grow properly. The particular ones at the back had sort of like pale, not very strong leaves. I thought if I move them around a bit and put them to the front, they might do a little bit better, and I might possibly get some main crop figs on them. So I thought I'd just have a quick run over the varieties I've got for anyone interested in figs, starting with the large ones, and obviously we'll have a look and see if they've got any potential bravers on. Now the first one we're going to look at here is Goutte d'Or. This is one of the ones that I've had the longest. I suspect I've had it probably about 3 or 4 years now, and I've moved it up pots a couple of times, and it is showing a couple of bravers. I don't know if Goutte d'Or is known for producing bravers. Not too much dieback evidence on it. This looks like this stem here could do with cutting out. It's a bit mouldy or diseased at the ends, but it's got a couple of bravers here as well. Obviously you can see the new shoots coming out. We haven't had a cold snap this year, so it hasn't frosted the new growths on them. The one next to it, I think it's probably an unnamed one. Oh no, this is supposed to be a Napolitana Nigra, which I think is a dark red fig. It hasn't fruited for me yet. I have had a couple off the Goutte d'Or. It has got a couple of bravers on it, but they're not really noted for bravers, these. But I'm hoping that as it's made an early start to the year and it's big enough, that I might get a couple of main crop figs on it in perhaps September. I don't think it's a particularly large fruit, but we'll have to wait and see. Now this one down here on the ground, which was one of the ones that I've had at the back, and therefore it didn't grow very well last year. This one is, let me just check, this one is Verdone. Sorry, I know I've got it upside down. This one is Verdone. I have had a couple of figs off this one previously, but again I think it wasn't getting enough light, so hopeful that we'll get a little bit more out of it this year if we get a reasonably good summer. Moving around this side, I bought this from a gentleman in Tottenham, I think it was, and it was just described as a Cyprus giant unnamed fig, so I didn't know the name of the variety, but I saw the figs in his garden and they were pretty substantial. It does seem to have bravers on it, but I'm not convinced it's a braver fig. We'll wait and see. The one that's next to it is supposed to be a panache, however you want to pronounce it, the striped fig. It's never produced a fig for me yet, and I'm still not convinced that it's the right plant. I had a feeling it might be mislabelled. I think this one came from Sutton's, and it has had some small figs on it like this, but I've never seen any sign of striping on them, so I wouldn't be surprised if I've been sold the wrong variety, which is obviously a common occurrence. Walking back round the other side, this one here is a Madeleine de Saison. The one next to it is a Ronde de Bordeaux. The one next to that is in the smaller pots of Pedro, and I think I got this last year from Jurassic Plants. Don't know anything about that particular variety of fig. This one here is a Noir de Caron. I think that one might have come from Connor, if I recall rightly. I don't know what the guy's doing next door. This is a yellow Adriatic cutting, as is the one next to it that I rooted. The one here again I think is one that might have come from Connor. This is a Black Madeira. This fruited for me last year, and you can see it's got it has got possibly Bravers on it now. The one here is just described as a large red, came from somebody called Jason, and it's unnamed, so we'll wait and see what happens with that one. This is just a regular brown turkey. I think I got it from the chap from Cyprus, but I thought it might be a different variant to the one that my parents have got. As you can see, it's got quite a few Bravers developing on it, so that's looking promising as well. This little one down here is a yellow of egg. Sorry, yellow of Egger's egg. That's it. I knew it was cut short on the label when they wrote on it, but this is a yellow of Egger's egg, which is, I presume, comes from a place where the fig originated. Too small to be fruiting at the moment. This fig here is a Peter's Honey. The one next to it is a Verdino del Nord. And I think that's pretty much all of them. The only one of interest, of minor interest to me, this is another yellow Adriatic, and this is from one of the cuttings that I was kindly sent by someone. We did some swaps on varieties, and the reason this one interests me is the actual rootstock is a brown turkey, and this is the one and only graft that I've done, or at least I did two, but only one took, and it's still looking fine. If I put my hand behind it, still looking fine, and the plant's growing, and I think that's now 2 years old, that graft. So did I show the one at the front, a Col de Dame Noir? Perhaps I didn't show that one. So there's about 14 varieties there in all. I don't need any more figs. I mean, I like figs, but I certainly don't need any more plants. That's plenty. They do take up a lot of space, and they're quite vigorous growing. Obviously, if I had a large garden, I might be interested in more, but my space is literally what you see is what I've got, so space wise, so there's nothing else I can do with more figs. But as long as I get a few figs each year, it would be nice. As I said, I'm going to put them more towards the front of the area where I grow all my containerised plants this year, in the hope that you know, they're going to overgrow the persimmons a bit, which is a bit of a nuisance. But the only thing I would say is with more light and sun on them, I'll probably get a few more figs, which would be nice. But I thought that would interest people who are into their figs anyway. That's just a quick run over of what I've got. As I said, there's about 15 varieties in all, and there's a mix of sort of dark red skinned figs. There's some green figs. I think there are some with dark red flesh, some with pink flesh, some with white flesh. So it's a fair mix. There's at least one yellow fig there as well. So hopefully in the next year or two, as they get better established, I'll see a few more figs materialise that I could do tastings from for anyone interested. Anyway, thanks for watching that quick video. Please give me a thumbs up. You're welcome to share if you think anyone's interested in figs being grown in a cooler climate. Please do subscribe to my channel if anything I've got here interests you. And remember to click on the bell if you'd like to know when new videos come out. And we'll see how these figs do during the summer, and I'll do some updates on them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you in the next video. Brett out for now.